really seem to see all the red.
Yeah.
So
I've been researching DNA.
I mean, you just get a hot day like this, and it's
It's
crazy.
The DNA cannot prove
How
that
about it's hot down
on
where
the
you're
Bay
at?
Street, everybody come from the Bay Street.
Really? A baker, you can bake a cookie outside.
Such a hard question. Have you ever listened to that Hugo Ferrero guy?
Alright.
You guys ready?
Anyway, he gives a pretty good presentation on things, but
Yeah, and so I think it's. I think he is, but I think they all like.
Okay. All right, welcome to our Board of Commissioners meeting. Today's date is August 4th, 2026. The time is 11 a.m. We appreciate our staff who set up our meeting and help us out and make this possible. So we are going to call our meeting to order.
Oh, you want me to?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Harvey here.
Your Commissioner Stubbs.
Oh, Commissioner. I'm Commissioner Stubbs. Sorry. Here. Been a long night.
Yeah.
Commissioner Harvey present.
And Commissioner Mon here. All right, we start our meeting off with an invocation. If we have anyone in the audience that would like to volunteer, we'll allow you to. Thank you. Just come to the front if you don't mind.
Our Father in heaven, we're thankful for this opportunity which we have to meet and be here in this county. We're thankful for all of our many blessings and for the health, the protection, and safety that we have here. We're thankful for our families and for this community, and we ask that they can receive continued blessings and protection. We're thankful for all the good things that are taking place, and please bless these commissioners that they can press forward in doing good and helping this community have success. And this we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
what is your name, sir?
Jeff Kelsey.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and we will have a pledge of allegiance. Commissioner Harvey, will you lead us?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. If we, has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? And if so, will you declare if you have a conflict of interest?
I do not.
Okay.
no conflict for me, Madam Chair.
Okay, neither for myself. All right. We will move into the public comment portion of our meeting. So I will read our guidelines. The purpose of the San Juan County Commission meeting is to conduct county business in a public setting as provided by law. We truly value and welcome public comment as it gives citizens an important opportunity to share ideas, concerns, and suggestions that help strengthen our county. To ensure that everyone has a fair opportunity to speak, comments are limited to 3 minutes and should focus on county programs and operations. Objective criticism is welcome. However, complaints about specific county personnel or private individuals will not be permitted. Please understand that public comment is not a debate or question and answer session, and an immediate response from the commission should not be expected. If you would like more information or further discussion, a member of our staff will be happy to assist you to set up a follow-up meeting. We appreciate your participation and your willingness to be involved in your county government. So, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Okay. We'll see if there's anyone online. If you're online and would like to make a public comment, will you please unmute yourself and then identify with your name and where you're from? Okay. Doesn't sound like it. So we will move to our consent agenda. So the first item on our consent agenda is the approval of $27,450 in small purchases with $6,900 on a trailer source for the road department, $13,050 on Rayladine West LLC for the landfill, which is fuel, and $7,500 on Capture Adventure Media for visitor center services. And number 2 is the ratification of the 2026 primary election canvass results. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Are we allowed to ask question on the canvas result, election?
Sure.
Result?
But let me get a second first.
Yeah,
Second the motion, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Approve.
Would you like to ask questions?
yeah, please, thank you. I just, and I guess it's you who get to answer the question. Anyway, I would just, have a question, let's see, on 5. So we had 111 total challenge curable ballots. What did that means?
Usually it was the affidavit that was on the envelope.
Okay,
Either the voter didn't sign it,
okay,
and then this year they added the last 4 digits of the driver's license or the last 4 digits of the social security.
okay,
And most of those for this 111 had been left blank.
okay.
So I wrote them a letter,
Okay.
asked them to please fill in the relevant information and return to me as soon as possible. And I don't remember the exact numbers now, but there were a number that didn't respond.
77, I think.
77 didn't
Mhm.
respond. So,
Okay, and so, that means maybe we had to figure out a way to educate them a little bit better about,
it is. It's
There's
a new.
somewhere-
It's a new thing for the last 4 digits of the driver's license or social security, and so that did stump a lot of people. And some people expressed privacy concerns. They don't want their social security number out there, or
yeah,
and they weren't so worried about the driver's license. But it is where we've been teaching our liaisons to make sure everybody puts one of the last 4 digits on their upcoming ballot, or not the ballot, the envelope to the ballot.
okay. In this says 69 plus percentage are curable ballots, not cured, what that means.
They had the ability that if they had responded, filled in the information, the
Okay.
ballot would have been counted.
Okay, so that is the 77 ones, okay.
Yes.
So 157 total rejected non-provisional ballots that could not be legally be cured. So anyway, I was curious, and I also have a question in comparison to a previous election. Were the turnout lower? I mean, how was that?
Turnout was really good this time.
Okay,
It created a lot of interest. I believe the general election in November is also going to be cause a lot of interest.
Okay.
And we have about 9,400 registered voters in the county that will receive a ballot, and that could even grow by the time the election occurs.
Okay,
And
thank you. Yes,
Okay. Any more questions or comments? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
You got it first and a second, Madam Chair. We just need to vote.
Okay, so let's vote to approve. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, thank you. All right, business action items. Our first one is consideration and approval to transfer the current agent of record to Intermountain Insurance Services Tranner.
Good morning, Commissioners. I have here with me Jeff and Tyler. They are with Intermountain Insurance Services. I'm glad we put them to work first thing. It's good to see them being involved. But I am here today with the agent of record transfer request to ask the Commissioners for this transfer. I believe we will get better service through Intermountain Insurance Services as far as a broker with our insurance services. Just to clarify, this is not switching insurance providers. It is only our broker. So it's only the agent that negotiates the insurance rates, the updated annual, everything that essentially goes through the insurance companies. And so my ask today is for your approval on these agent of record transfer requests.
Do we have questions?
well, I probably have a comment more than a question. You know, we have been very preoccupied with the fire. I know we have had a presentation of this before, Commissioner Harvey wasn't present when we talked a little bit about this. You know, I feel like we need a little more time to look at it and really figure out, you know, what's what. And so I don't know how the other commissioner feel, but.
And we do have them. So they came down from Morgan today.
Yeah,
Me and Tyler have met multiple times over the last 6 months. And so it's not that they're only here once in the year,
yeah.
but they would be willing to answer any questions. I mean, I know this is commission meeting, and so, but if there are concern, I mean, I think that's for me, I'm dealing with the benefits. I'm the one who deals with the benefits.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know
Yeah, I'm not-
he's answered
I'm
all
not
my questions,
questioning
and so
that,
if there are any questions, they would love to answer any of the commissioners' questions.
So briefly, if we could, I think we have so many meetings after a while you forget what was said in what meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for myself and hopefully with the two of us, if you guys don't mind just giving a brief overview and why more your pros versus what we were with, because I mean, the more we talk about this, the more I remember the conversation, but just to kind of confirm and solidify why this is a better solution for our county.
Awesome. And then after they get done, I do want to bring up one of my concerns and why, from my standpoint, why I would like to.
Because I think one
down
thing
this
that
road.
we kind of forgot as well is that you're right. The clarification is that it does not concern the carriers. It's
Correct.
only our broker
Yeah,
who
we are not-
brokers
we
for
are
us.
not
with those
switching insurance carriers. This is
Okay.
just that middle person that has
Sure.
contact with the county and then contact with the benefits.
Yep.
So
Okay, come on.
I'm gonna hand these to you guys because he's gonna read from that, but.
Okay,
Thank you for giving us a few minutes to
thank you.
tell you about us and what we do and why we might be different and the value add that we would bring to the county. For sure, absolutely, we are in person and we like to be right in the thick of it. There's no way we can give you good counsel and guidance if we're not in your community and working with your employees and understanding the dynamics that you have, which are very unique. We work with a lot of other counties, and every county is unique and very different as far as the challenges that they have in getting care and receiving the best benefits overall. We have a very good relationship with all of the current carriers that you're working with. The past performance has been that you've received your renewal, but there hasn't been maybe as much massaging of the current carriers as there could be in getting more favorable rates. We have a whole list of other counties that you could call and say, hey, where did you start on your renewal and where did you land on your renewal? And for all of those, it's a very different number. Right before I walked in, just to refresh my memory, with, like, for example, Emery County, very similar in size, very rural and unique. When they first got their renewal, they were way in the double digits. But we dug in, we understood some dynamics because we were familiar with their employees and some of the care they were getting. They were also with PHP, and by the time we ended, we were at an 8%, which is much different than the high double digits where we started. So really for us is the value add that we would bring to you. We're already working with the hospital here local. They're a current customer of ours, and so we're here often already. And so to add you into our portfolio would be just wonderful, and we would definitely take care. But the big part of that is that we're here in person, and we're using a lot of tools, and we could spend an hour talking about all the different tools we use, but we're really digging into the details of where are your claims, what's your claim cost, what are your trend markers, where are the dollars going? Is it in pharmacy? Is it in specialty drugs? Is it in outpatient services? Where are your people going for care? Are they going into Colorado? Are they staying here local? Are they heading up north to the Wasatch Front? All of those dynamics are discussions that we have with the carriers and saying, okay, how can we get the best outcome? I don't know if that was what you
Yeah.
were looking for.
That was
But-
great.
Okay. But the biggest part is we become vested. And this commitment sheet is unique because it outlines what we're committing to you as a customer, that we'd be able to come in and provide all of those. And you can hold us our feet to the fire and say, hey, you guys committed to this, and we will do those things. Any specific questions that you might have?
No, I just, when we saw this being in the agenda, we couldn't even, we knew that we had heard the presentation before, but Commissioner Harvey wasn't present, so we thought maybe we need some time to look at it a little bit more. I, the person we have right now representing us, I go to UAC, I go to the meetings, they know us and things like
Yep.
that. So we are used to, I just speak for myself, used about that. And so I just needed to know, in which way it's going to affect us and I'm basically our workers,
Yep.
things like that. And so we didn't have the time to look at this, but I don't know. I mean, you're playing a little bit better now, but.
And we go to all the UAC meetings, and you'll see us there as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're there to support you and to be a part of things.
Yeah, anyway, so
Yep.
I just went with what I was familiar. We did have the presentation before, but we are navigating through lots of new waters here as commissioners, and we had tons of information coming, trying to sort out. I don't know if Commissioner Harvey had time to look at this stuff before he came today. So anyway, but thank you for.
Can I say one item?
Sure.
I know he
Yeah.
always says the hair, with hair comes wisdom, his gray hair. Those are his words. I wouldn't say it unless he said it, because I'm not going to talk about his gray hairs. The main feedback we get from other counties that have transitioned over to us is that the service is better. That is the biggest feedback that a lot of counties share with us is, hey, you're in person, like Jeff was saying, which is a big deal. But as well, it's, hey, we feel like when we reach out to you, you respond to our emails and you're attentive to our needs. You're not going to feel like a small fish in a big pond. That's the main item we get back, because that's what a lot of the counties tell us. They say, hey, we felt like we were just a small fish in a big pond, and with you guys, we feel like we're important. And that's how we want to treat all the companies that we work with and all the groups we work with, is because you guys are important to us. And so, like Jeff was saying, hey, we're vested, we're in person, and part of being in person is so you guys know how important you guys are to us. I mean, that's kind of the big thing. So if you're like, hey, what's the big differentiator? Service, the service aspect.
I do have a question. What's the time commitment? Because we are, commissioners come and go. And so, trying to figure, okay, if we go into a contract, what kind of commitment we are making.
We have no contract, meaning it's service oriented. If we perform, you're going to keep us.
Okay,
If we don't perform, you can kick us to the curb at any time.
okay. Well, it's nice to, like I said, we are making decision for future commissioners and others, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
that.
that's the beauty of what we do, is there is no commitment from your side to us. We're going to perform. We're going to be here. We're going to do the things that we say, or you'll go somewhere else. And our retention is showing that we perform very well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Commissioner Stubbs, for having my back on not being part of the conversations. But thank you also for asking important questions, because I know this recording is important reference for our public who don't come in person but go to our website to access our meetings. So I'd like to start by sharing two points. First of all, big thank you to our HR director, our giant HR director, Tranner Sharp, because I think it's his doing that brings this type of support to our county and puts attention to the needs of all of our employees and and also puts them front and center in regards to their benefits. So thank you, Trenner, for having the inspiration and the drive to find some way to bring better services to the benefits for the employee. That's how I look at this. And I imagine you sat down with all the department directors and talked about all the various challenges and barriers with our insurance providers. And it's nice to know that we have an agency who's able to be that service for us to most likely demand some things that we want better from our insurance providers. I know one of those big things is coordination of benefits, prescription drugs, paying for those costs. As a simple example, PEHP, they really scrutinize certain prescription medications, and they're almost pushing a lot of prescriptive needs towards generic, or you have to appeal through your physician to get the type of prescription medication, even services. And so I know that having a champion locally to work through those complex appeals would be really great. I mean, why do we have to appeal? Maybe there's a way to increase the umbrella to have more approvals for certain services and medications for the staff in our county. And just for public knowledge, I'm going to refer to the commitment sheet that our organization who's come before us today has brought with them. They brought 7 points. They want to be fully transparent. And this is the cool part. Monthly meet and greet. I don't think PEHP or any of our other insurance we subscribe to really come out monthly. It's an annual gig for them. But you guys are going to be here and accessible. That's huge. And I've heard that be an important thing for all the county employees. And of course, because of Tranner's genius, that's going to happen now, be more accessible. And being able to communicate with you on some of the barriers maybe that we're experiencing as subscribers to the benefits we pay for. I mean, the county, I'm sure, pays good money for insurance services, and we want to maximize that. So if these insurance carriers aren't willing to be better, let's find someone else who will serve us and our needs. Fourth point is they're trusted. Wellness is important. That's what our staff need, is wellness. We're so bogged down with the day-to-day that sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves as employees. One of the biggest buzzwords in the state is self-care. And I think that's something we all, as county staff members, could utilize, is some self-care. Being able to access that. How do we do that? Is it physical self-care? Is it mental health self-care? And then the account management. A lot of us get denials, or maybe we're at least seeking services that are denied. We need that support, that technical expertise, so that insurance carriers who we pay good money for, good county money for, can give us the services that we need, especially out here in rural. We're driving to visit specialists, not in our area, almost clear across the state, and sometimes past state lines just to get a specific service. So I think the position you're going to take in behalf of our staff, our county employees, is going to be awesome. So that's just some important things I think we're making a decision on And really, I equate all that up to Tranner Sharp's genius so that we can have better insurance benefits for our county employees. So, Madam Chair, with that long-winded comment that didn't have a question, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay,
Does
so
the Turner have to say something before that or not?
I mean, I can get up and say I can hold it. I mean, really, more so goes to the point of, so all this came about during a recent audit of employee expense, in uncovering some of the products that we have with our current setup. We uncovered some enormous financial commitments that we've been going through for the past 5 years, where if we would have spoken with an agent of record and build out the product to fit the county's need and the employees' need, we could have saved a tremendous amount of money. And so that's going to be one of the top priorities, working with Jeff and Tyler, working with the commissioners as we look at these. There's a couple of the products that we're in right now that we're going to relook at, revisit, discuss with the commissioners, discuss with these two, and save the county an enormous amount of money. And so that was just my comment. Is this really came to pass because of things we uncovered as we were performing employee audits with expenses. So
thanks.
Thank you.
Do I have a second on the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
And
thank you.
for coming.
Appreciate it. Okay.
We're committed.
Yep, you got that right there on your paper.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, consideration approval of the Public Health Emergency and Healthcare Preparedness Programs contract with Utah Department of Health and Human Services in San Juan County for the fiscal year 2024 through 2028, Amendment 3. Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. So yeah, this amendment is to the Public Health Emergency and Healthcare Preparedness Program, amending the amount for this year. It's the third year of the 5-year contract, and that amount is $117,610. Along with that, it requires a 10% county match.
Wait, well, you said that it's in the third year of a 5-year,
Yes.
and we have to renew this every year
Yes.
on the match.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Any comments?
Yeah, I guess I have a question. Basically, I always ask questions for, I may know the answer, like I said, but I want the public out there watching the meeting or recording of the meeting, they may have a question. So, so you already answered that we have a 10% match.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how is the SB 37, which is tobacco prevention control, split among the 5 entities? Are there 5 entities that works?
Well, that's a different item.
That's
believe.
your other item?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I have you as item.
That'll be number
Anyway.
6.
That's number 6. Okay. But anyway, so let me see. So, yeah, my question was about federal funding allocation for this one, and you just said that we are, as a county, we're committed for 10%. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Madam Chair, I will second that motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, consideration and approval of a resolution for a ballot proposition number, which will allow the proposed local sales and use tax of 1% for emergency medical services to be on the ballot of the next election. So that'll be Jeremy. Hey, we're getting to you, I promise.
We're moving at a rapid pace here.
We-
I think
we
that's why
we
we got
sh-
in a hurry.
I know we should have actually backed them back to back, but sorry.
No problem. So
just a little history. We passed this basically the same language a few meetings ago, and I can't apologize because we didn't know. When we submitted our application for our proposition number through the clerk's office, it came back that we needed a official resolution. So that's what we're asking for today, is to basically do what we've done in the previous meeting, but put it in an official resolution that will move our proposition forward, or so that we can obtain that number and then move this forward as we've planned in the before.
We're getting it. Hold on.
You
Circle
what?
some more. Keep driving.
Keep driving.
Keep driving.
Trying to find your page, Jeremy. So.
Yep. Does anyone have any questions? Right there.
Oh, there it is.
There you go.
The commissioner have a question? You say no? I don't. I just basically, assuming they will have, since it's gonna be in the ballot, it's the public that decide. But is a plan to talk to the public about it?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
we've definitely been having conversations with the public at different events we've been in, and then just trying to get it out there. But to be honest, I think it's going to be a lot easier, or just that recognition of what this is once we can have this proposition number to associate with that conversation. And so, I've been trying to get this proposition number for quite a while. We've ran into a few little roadblocks, and hopefully this is the last one so that we can obtain that. And then we really have a plan to start. We've got some partners that want to commit some funding that's not associated with the county to, help us spread this message and get it out in the communities. So that's the plan moving forward, is but we really need a number to associate that with, instead of just, it's a big topic, and I think we can really narrow it down with the proposition number.
We have some people that are listening right now, and if you were to sell that, what's some of the things that this will do to the EMS program?
The biggest thing is it's going to hopefully sustain the EMS program on the trajectory we're on, with our lack of people that can, want to basically continue to do this job for very, very little compensation. We lose more providers every year than we can gain. So hopefully this will offset those costs, being able to have more full-time people and be able to compensate our people appropriately. Of course, we have an aging fleet. The newest fleet we have is, in 2019. The oldest is 2006. So we have some definite needs. Our equipment is in the same predicament. We've never had a capital replacement budget for EMS, and so everything has always been, an emergency or a grant or something, and with no consideration of what we're going to do, 5 years from now. So ideally, it's not to spend all this money. Ideally, we have, to create a fund that would allow us for replacement of equipment, vehicles, and ultimately, as we continue to have more and more people that we have to travel in from outside the area to, sometimes cover some of these positions that we can't cover locally. We need buildings and such that are going to allow for that we just don't have right now that are.
And also would allow for you to expand into transporting van, where we can generate funds, which we don't do that much right now.
Yeah, our biggest need, to be frank and blunt and honest, is people. We need people, and we need to compensate them.
Yeah.
And that's where the bulk of this really needs to go, is to compensate those people.
And the reason being because we took have lots of people willing to volunteer in different positions, not only with EMS. For some reason right now, volunteer doesn't exist because the cost of living, people have to go, they need to work.
Yep.
And so we don't have the pool that we used to have in the county for volunteer. So
every single one of our people has one or at least two, if not three jobs. And that includes our full-time staff as well, has to have a some secondary form of employment to based on the things you've just mentioned. The cost of living is increased. So those are the considerations that I've identified, and just to sustain our program, moving forward. Every 10 years, we will have to put this back on the ballot. So if, I'll be here in 10 years, I plan to be, we'll have a better plan of how to move this forward, never having done it before. So
Thank you for sharing that. I think it answers some of the questions from the public, and so
and certainly if you guys come up, or if you have people address you with specific questions and such, I would be more than happy to meet with anybody at any time that we can share, the
The only other explanation I would ask is that people are going to ask who's affected by the tax. Would you just explain that quickly?
Yep.
Just for the record.
So the thing that we do love, or nobody loves taxes, myself included. I wish there was a better way or another way. Like I've stated in previous meetings, we've identified 3 options. This was the one we feel is the most favorable because it's sales tax, which will allow us to hopefully have our visitors bear in the burden of the cost of EMS. So right now we have between 30 and 40% of our ambulance calls are for out of area. People that we don't have ambulances in the zip codes. So about 30 to 40% of our calls come from those areas. So we hope or anticipate that some of those expenses or some of that revenue that could be generated by this sales tax would be offset by those visiting or traveling through our area. The tax, just as a point of reference, we've stated and just want to be clear, it is not a sales tax on grocery or on your non-prepared foods, so it will not hit our locals at the grocery store. It doesn't hit our fuel, because that's a separate tax. And then it also doesn't hit our fixed income population with their prescription medications, because there's no tax on groceries or non-prepared food, fuel, or our prescription medications. Does that answer your question?
thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Three points I'm going to cover in my long-winded comment. Jeremy, first of all, I want to say thank you for your work and getting this seen through, and the research behind it and your efforts. I mean, ultimately, I'm looking at this as a solution to improving our EMS, the budget, and the services. So thank you. That's my first point. My second point is for the public benefit. There's 2 points I want to make in that. The first one, to the listening public: when this resolution passes, it doesn't mean that beginning tomorrow the taxes will begin and you're going to start paying the taxes, and that San Juan County was the one that approved the taxes to happen right away. That's not correct and a correct assumption. The second point I wanted to make is that there are steps that Jeremy outlined in your resolution, kind of the timeline that we're looking at. First of all, today, by resolution, the commissioners are approving the ballot proposition. Basically, commission's approving to have the public vote on this tax this coming November. That's what the commission is doing. So Commissioner Stubbs, if someone comes up and says, dang it, you just approved my taxes for 1%, you can be like, no, we approved it to put it on the ballot so that you, as a citizen, can vote on that. The second point, or continue on with my second point, so by resolution, we're creating a ballot that will have the question does San Juan County voters, I mean, I'm just paraphrasing here, want to impose a 1% tax, yes or no? And then looks like we're filling out an application so that we can number the ballot. That's step 2. This is going towards November. The final piece I think is important to highlight. With all of the documentation together that Jeremy puts, it actually goes to the Lieutenant Governor's office, and she will receive our packet, and she will be the one to say, okay, I'm good with this, and we're going to put it on San Juan County's ballot, and we're going to let the public vote on that. So, community members who are replaying this meeting and watching it with intent ears and focus, that is important to know. So I hope that's helpful for everyone, and that you use that interpretation, that clarification to your benefit, so you're well informed. I think that's important, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
That is all. I can be very long-winded at times, but I think in this sense, it helps so that the community, the citizens understand. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay, so I will accept a motion for this resolution.
Motion to pass the resolution to begin work on the ballot proposition.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
Thank you.
very
And
much.
definitely not a me only thing. Jens and our clerk's office have been awesome working with. We're also working with a representative from UAC that Lori would passed along. So it's been a huge team effort, including you guys. We couldn't do it without you, so we appreciate you.
Thanks,
Not-
Jeremy.
Not only a great leader, but a humble EMS director, as you can see.
Yes.
Shouldn't number 7 be before 6? Get Rebecca appointed and then let her present as the director. Am I reading
We
that wrong?
can. Sure.
I don't know if that's a huge deal, but
Um,
it seemed that over the minutes.
Well, she's,
So,
she's here.
Rebecca, real quickly before we bring you up, we have item number 7 to make your appointment, and so the question is whether we should have number 7 before number 6. But would you have presented these regardless of the appointment?
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
we'll
what
just have you come do that anyway. All right. So does that work? Is that okay?
I don't think it really matters.
Well,
Okay.
Legally, it doesn't matter. I just
Yeah,
thought the sequence
she's
just-
doing it at her current
Okay.
position.
All right, so Rebecca, you're going to come up and present in your current position as consideration and approval of a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of San Juan County, State of Utah, approving and authorizing the adoption of 5 separate contracts for community-based e-cigarette, tobacco, and other drug prevention between San Juan County, and the following entities are not listed, so I will assume you will list each entity as you go through them.
Right.
Oh, it's on the resolution, and I would love to say I can pronounce all those, but I'm going to pass and let someone that can pronounce all those.
That's a test for the day.
Yes, I would have to be taught that. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I think it's still morning. Good afternoon, commissioners, Commissioner Harvey, Commissioner Mon, and Commissioner Stubbs. So the 5 grantees, and this is a grant that we get from the state. It's a legislated grant called SB 37, House Bill 337. And so every year it's put into a contract, and it's to reduce tobacco misuse or use among youth, and then also for tobacco prevention. We get $81,656, and we don't keep a penny of it. It's passed through to the grantees. And so 4 of the 6 that we have this year are continuation. So they are Albert R. Lyman, Drug Safe Utah, Hojon Goina 365, and USU Extension. USU Extension is a no-cost extension. And the 2 new ones are Inapahoa, it's a youth program, and 5 Ranges Phoenix Stables. Those are the two new ones. So the rest are all continuation. We've been working with them for a while. And so this is how we implement the grant. And so so the process goes that because they're continuing, it's a continuation grant. And we do have a formal agreement with them. We started out as an interlocal agreement, but we were told we didn't need that. So it's simply an agreement that we do with them. And it just states the amount and the outcomes and objectives that they have to do. It has to be evidence-based. And we've had success to mention by the SHARP survey. In the SHARP survey, it shows that there is a decline in tobacco use and vape use, and also parents understanding that tobacco causes harm to the body and health overall. So we can say that it's effective. So it takes partnership to implement this grant. And so we've been working with some of these grantees for a while.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. I always tell people, I ask questions for information of the public they are listening to. So, is this located in multiple community, or is this just a blending area, or the program?
They're all throughout the county.
Okay, through all the county.
There will soon be one in Monticello,
Okay.
LaSalle, and then, of course, ARLs and blinding. And then Drug Safe Utah is the whole county. They are a nonprofit organization based out of Salt Lake City, but they work with the whole county, specifically junior high students. And then Hojongo Ina 365 Ina Baho'a is on the southern part of the county. And this is a program under Utah Navajo Health System. And then USU Extension is part of the extension here. And so those are the entities that we work
That's
with.
how they,
So it's
okay.
comprehensive.
Yeah, well, thank you. Also, so it's an amount, the grant has a certain amount, and that gets divided among all the partnerships. So I don't know if it's called partnerships or whatever, all the entities that have different programs. So each of those entities may have their own funds. So how does this work?
Yes, it's dollar amounts. And at the beginning, when we get a new grantee, it's usually a bigger amount. So this year, ARL will get $15,000. Drug Safe Utah will get $15,000. Hojongo Ina 365 will get $15,000. USU Extension is a no-cost extension, and Ina Baho'a is $8,000. And the sixth one is Five Ranges Phoenix, which is $28,656. And that's just because they're a brand new organization that we're going to work with. And with that program, we will work with students and veterans. So those are the focus. And they have to show that the curriculum or program that they're going to implement is probably going to be an evidence base.
Sounds good. I just have one more question. Can you introduce your helper?
Yes, she can introduce herself. She's our new health educator.
Okay.
Danielle So Yunisha. Hi everyone, my name's Danielle So. I am your new health educator at San Juan Public Health. I'm excited to be here and learning a lot from Rebecca, and excited to continue working here because, I just barely moved back, in school right now, working on my Master's of Public Health, hopefully to be done in spring next year.
Congratulations, that's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
And I hope to continue working for the county because this is my community too.
Yeah. Did you notice Commissioner Rebecca Benali in the picture?
Yes. Yes, I
So
did.
she is left big footsteps for us women to follow her, and she's a good role model for my position, and I'm sure she is a really, really good model for you. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Commissioner. You're always going to be Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, a couple questions. Is so sorry we had a little side conversation. You mentioned the 5 ranges Phoenix.
Mhm.
My understanding is, well, I can see that is not on the resolution, so that is not being approved today.
No,
Okay.
that's just, she asked who we all work with and what programs are out there. So it'll be soon to be partner, hopefully.
So the reason it is not on there is because,
We're working with Mr. Mitch Mon, and so I'm not sure exactly the reason.
okay, so I had seen it before. I did ask attorney, and I'm just double checking. My understanding is that it needs to go out for procurement and for bid. Is that correct?
It could go out for RFP,
Okay.
and other entities are more than welcome to apply if they feel that they can be one of the people that provide a proposal.
Okay. So once that does, that one alone will have to come back with its own resolution, correct? Because it is
Correct,
not on
and
this
agreement.
resolution.
Yes.
Okay. That's what we needed to clarify on that. So
as is, and then we amend within the procurement.
yes. So we could. So yes. So we could approve this resolution and either go back and amend, or it can have its own. But most likely, it'd be better if we just amended once they are added on. If that's who gets that bid.
Well,
So
whichever process is convenient for you,
Okay.
we'll
Or
work with
legal,
you on that.
okay, great. Thank you. We appreciate it. Does that answer your questions? Okay. So do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion, Madam Chair, to approve.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. All right. Tranner, consideration and approval of a resolution approving the appointment of Rebecca Benali as the San Juan County Public Health Director and Local Health Officer.
Good afternoon once again, Commissioners. I am here on behalf of the Public Health Board with a nomination for appointment of a health director. We have gone through the hiring process. We have incorporated the Public Health Board through this interview process, and they have recommended Ms. Rebecca Benali for appointment to the Public Health Director of San Juan County. So I'm here to get your approval of appointment for that.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question, and like they coming before this is just for, I may know the answer, but it's for the knowledge of the public that's listening to us. Okay, and the contract, Rebecca Benali, this clause, this says, this will, the contract is a will. So my question is that this designation as a will doesn't match the standard for employment policy for all county employers?
So to answer your question, Commissioner Stubbs, so there is a state statute, and I don't know the reference number, but there is a state statute that all health directors are at-will employees and can be removed per their commission or their governing board. And so per state code, the health director is an at-will employee. Your question, if this follows the employees in the county, there's only a handful of positions that are at will. Chief deputies are at will. Appointed positions are at will.
Okay.
Currently in our county, because we don't have a chief deputy in the assessors or the recorders or the clerk auditor's office, we do not have an at-will employee outside of our public health director, which, if this appointment goes through, will be the only employee in the county at will. But that is not per county policy, that is per a state statute.
Okay, and so, and then it has been historical, previous person in this position
Correct.
have had this designation. as
Correct.
a
The
will. So,
previous health directors have been at-will employees.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. A comment more than a question. The county has had a vacancy for a public health board or a public health program director since I believe January, or was it December? December of 2024. And through that duration, we had an interim who's Mike. So I just want to first start by saying thank you to Mike, for your work and being able to keep the public health program moving forward in the interim of this kind of long waiting period. So I doing this to recognize Mike for his work, and I think that's an important thing to mention. The second piece is actually about you, the Department of Health and Human Services with the state of Utah. It's been a long time coming to have a new public health program director, and it's really awesome to have Rebecca, who's very familiar with not only the county but the Neh people, and being cognizant of the culture and the language. And I think that's going to be a huge strength, especially as the public health department works to expand its services countywide. I know that San Juan Paiute has also been interested in being part of public health, and so I'm sure Rebecca is going to be on that. My point, not to be long-winded, is that this will actually satisfy Department of Health and Human Services' concerns for that extended lapse in having a public health director. And the fact that Rebecca's the new director is going to be pretty cool. I think them knowing that she comes from a really strong background was going to be helpful. The work needs to continue in regards to Department of Health and Human Services. Heather Borski, very important name. Heather Borski is one of the executive directors with Department of Health and Human Services. She wants to come down into our county, commissioners, and I offered her an opportunity to stop here to visit with us, but to also meet our new public health director. And Department of Health and Human Services wants to go through the corrective actions of the department and really help our public health program to succeed. They want to provide the necessary support specifically to the grants that are there, and providing training and access to the systems that are directly connected to the grants that the state gives. It sounds like maybe we never had access or something. There was some kind of disconnect there. And the whole idea is Department of Health and Human Services wants to come meet the new public health director, the board, and focus on a way to strengthen our public health for the county. This is a huge step for us as a county in lifting up our public health program and strengthening it so that we're very efficient and effective in the county, throughout the county. So that's a really long-winded overview, but it's important to put on record because it's very positive and worth celebrating. That's just my comment, Madam Chair. I think the next steps for us is setting aside a date to host Heather Borski to bring our new public health director on board and to work on the work that needs to continue. So thank you, Madam Chair, for the time.
Okay, thank you.
I just need make a comment. So, you know, I'm not as familiar as Commissioner Harvey is with with the program, but I use my time to go help look for a director. And every time we thought we had somebody qualified was minus something. And it was a very, very discouraging time, sometimes thinking that we couldn't find somebody to replace. And I know in this process, there's sacrifice being made, and I appreciate that we come to this point because for sometimes we can hear that we're going to go back to price, which would have been, in my opinion, a step backward. And so there are so many that were involved in this process and to get to this point. And like I said, I had tried multiple people, trying to lure people to move here and different things, and never worked out. But I think it worked out good. And I think this is a future for everybody. I know Mike had to steady the ship, and that takes lots of energy and mental and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm so appreciative for him that I had opportunity to watch Rebecca in boards as I watch her, how good she is at navigating issues and I think she do a good job of being in good hands, and we have lots of people working for us in that department, and I know that I feel good today about that. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, before I take the motion, I too as well, thank you, Mike, for your efforts and all you put forth. You took it personally to heart and moved it forward the way it needed to go at times, and so just appreciate. And I know it's hard to not know what was going to happen, whether we were putting someone in, not putting someone in. It was a long period of time, so appreciate your efforts and the work of your team, because it just kept going and kept us out of trouble. So thank you very much. I will accept a motion.
Motion to approve.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Welcome, Rebecca.
Thank you, Turner.
We look forward to the meeting coming up
Yeah.
when we'll meet together. So thank you. All right, number 8, consideration and approval of a letter of support for the use of eligible county jail inmates in supervised landfill work programs. Deputy Attorney Nelson.
Hello, Commissioners. This letter's fairly self-explanatory, I think. We have our sheriff here if you have questions for him. 2 things I think to remember here. Number 1, this doesn't really require any particular level of inmates going and performing this labor and this work. It just says that you're supportive of it. Number 2, one of the factors in how much work can be done in this program is how well staffed the sheriff's office is. And I don't know the details of how much of the sheriff's office, the staff need to be there to perform this supervised work, but it is something. And I think that if you want the full level of involvement with the inmates, there might need to be additional staff with the sheriff's office. So those are just 2 comments I have on the letter, the effect of it and so forth.
Okay. Any comments by
I
Commissioner?
have some, again, just for the public. So what is there a screening criteria for the inmates that will be going? It's one question. The other one is, are they working during public, when it's open to the public or before? So how, is there a concern from the, would the public have a concern about going to them? So, and so basically safety to the, for the public, a screening procedure, and then, are they volunteering or they are assigned to do? Is there a program that's a volunteer program?
Good questions. Good
If
questions.
there's any screening for them?
Lehigh can help here, but
Okay,
so state law provides for this option to do this. No one's forced to do it. You mentioned safety to the public. The process for screening who's involved is, I would say it's just thorough so that there is no danger to the public. I guess that's the way I would say it. Lehigh, maybe you can shed some additional light on this. Oh, Mr. Mon is not authorized to speak.
Sorry.
Who called you up here?
This is the letter of support. And so along with that, we need to have an agreement between the sheriff's office and the landfill. And that's yet to come. That hasn't been drafted yet. So that will contain
Holding to it.
all of the dotting your I's and crossing your T's, if you will, and explain all that. This is just the letter of support from the commission.
Okay.
If it's agreed by both parties, which I think it has, then we need to get the sheriff's office and the landfill together and make an agreement. So.
Okay, thanks.
So yes, it's during work hours of the landfill answering that question. And yes, there's a process where we have to look at the inmate's criminal history and see if there's a safety risk or a flight risk for taking them out in the public to work.
thank you.
Any more questions?
So you'll have more details, of course, when the agreement between the landfill and the sheriff's office comes before you.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, just a couple of comments and maybe a directive to our county attorneys. First comment is to Landfill Director Jed Tate. I hope you got your ears perked up. I'm supportive, Jed, of having additional laborers help you, as long as you open up on weekends on a Saturday for us. And the second piece is the directive to our county attorney, Mitch and Jens. When we create that agreement, let's insert that language.
Saturday and Sunday, is
That
what you mean?
JED must open on Saturday for weekend dumping. And that also allows sheriff more time to give inmates opportunity to do their hours. So there you go, Jed. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thanks. Did you have any more comments? Commissioner Stubbs, did you have any more comments? No. Okay. All right. Motion to approve the letter of support.
Motion to approve with directive.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Good thing Jed's on vacation right now. He'll need to digest that for a bit. Okay. Number 9. Consideration and approval of resolution adopting the recommendation of the San Juan County Planning Commission approving an amendment to Turkey Trot Estates subdivision Phase 1, Lot 3, subject to conditions of approval. We have our attorney and we also have Planning and Zoning Director Corey with us if we need clarification.
Thank you. Lately, the Planning and Zoning Department has had a lot of requests to amend subdivisions and also to vacate and to further subdivide through an amendment. State law allows for this. Our local ordinance allows for it as well. And really, the Planning and Zoning Commission can approve that. I don't believe it's really required for the commissioners to approve each of those. But we've had a number of requests lately, and I think the thought is this was a good opportunity for the commissioners to kind of see what's going on and maybe have a chance to ask questions. If you're not familiar with the process, you know, a developer or someone with land will get an engineer or surveyor and plat out a subdivision with lots, and it goes through a certain process and it gets approved. And after that process is what we're talking about now, where people say, hey, my lot is lot 5 and I want to do such and such with that. Can I do it? And one of the steps that is required is to get approval from the other lot owners in order to make these changes. You can do that, or you can have a public hearing with the planning and zoning, and the public can come and say, yes, we think this is a good idea, or no, we don't. And the two that are before you today, basically this first one here involved quite a number of signatures. How many signatures, Corey, did this person get? 39 or 40, something like that? So basically the entire subdivision, all these people, we did have a public hearing, talked through everything. There was no opposition, and it was approved there, recommended that you approve it. That's just a little overview. Like I say, I don't know that each of these is going to come before this group, but we've had such a number of them. I think we just wanted for you to more or less be a little bit aware and give you a chance to ask any questions about this process. Or
I just have a question. Thank you. My question is, does approving this is an amendment? I don't know what it's called. Was set up a precedent for future requests?
yeah, you could look at it a little bit that way. Each one stands on its own because there are lots of factors. And so not necessarily because one person gets approval to do it, will everyone else get approval? There are, I guess, each piece of land, each subdivision is somewhat unique.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps answer that question. But yeah, it's somewhat of a precedent, I think.
Okay, my other question is a little similar, but so what specific guidelines will the planning and zoning will use in moving forward to evaluate similar subdivision requests? Because anytime you have an idea or do something in a community like ours, it gets through, it goes around and people come, they get an idea. That
Sure.
works, and so they'll try it. And so I just wonder how that, in going forward, how that's going to be addressed. Well, so-and-so did it, so we had to explain why they qualify, but you don't qualify, and so.
Sure.
And,
Well, the basic answer is, you start with what's allowed under the ordinance in that particular place, that location. This is if you're creating a new subdivision. You verify what's allowed, then you create a conceptual plan for implementing that. You talk with the planning and zoning office and you submit an application for approval. There's dialogue. But the finished product should be, a subdivision plat with the lots laid out with sufficient ingress and egress. You have areas for public utilities. You have the road question, is this going to be a private road? It's going to be a county road. So this is for TJ to perk up his ears, like Jamie said for Jed. This idea of new roads is a pretty big deal because the county road department has a lot of roads to cover already. Can we add a new one to it? Or is it going to be the subdivision owners that care for that? So those are some questions. Once those are all resolved and everything's compliant, there's got to be a sign off by Corey. You're going to have to make sure I get all the people, but you got planning and zoning, you got the county attorney's office, you got surveyor, county surveyor, health department, engineering department. There you go. So that's Brad, right? So I don't know if that answers your question. Once that's done, if someone wants to further, if they want to amend what's already been completed, then there's another process. Not the same exactly, but kind of similar. If you're going to amend it and make a change, that change has to comply with the current rules and ordinances. You have to meet lot sizes, requirements, health and safety, concerns if there are any. We mentioned earlier that you get approval from your other landowners, or you have a public hearing so people can voice their questions or concerns.
So which ordinance are we following right now?
You have a county, you have the zoning ordinance, which says what goes where, and then you have a subdivision ordinance.
Okay, so it's not what we're working on right now, trying to.
No.
No, it's okay.
The ordinance that's the zoning ordinance that gets lots of attention is just in the works. I mean,
Okay, no, I just
yeah.
clarified that. And I have one question, and I don't know if it's the time to ask it. As we, we work on ordinance and things like that, in any way, is what we're trying to accomplish, mirror what municipality had. Whatever we're trying to pass in the county, is that mirroring what Monticello require, or what Blanding requires? Is it easy for me to do something in the city of Monticello that I cannot do in the county? So, I mean, those kind of things, because used to be the other way. No.
I would say those issues are almost identical. The questions
You think
and the
requirements
process
are
are
the
very
same?
similar. The differences come in, when you're in the city, you might have different lot sizes than you would say in the county, because the county's huge. You got these big open areas. You might want different requirements there than in the city. In the county, you have septic, whereas in the city you have culinary water. You're hooked to the city system. Some of those considerations, but largely the concepts are the same.
Okay,
That's the way I view it. I don't know if.
thank you.
Do you have any comments, or are you ready to make a motion?
Madam Chair, just maybe a comment more so to the process. I was just gonna say, I was just thinking here through my mind. I have a new appreciation for Corey being the planning and zoning director because of the complexity involved with the subdivision ordinance, and then you've got the county ordinance. And I used to think the Bureau of Indian Affairs was complicated when you withdrew a home site lease. I used to complain, Fish and Wildlife has to sign off, gotta do an archaeological clearance. But man, you guys really know how to make that a layered bureaucracy when it comes to subdivision planning and such. So anyhow, thinking out loud, Madam Chair. Are we motioning this? Okay. So motion to approve both. Is that okay? Would I complicate if I do
Probably
Yeah,
better
no,
get them both before probably have to call both items. So let's just do them one at a time if that's
okay.
okay. I think that's probably more
I
correct.
will do the first, which is the Turkey Trot Estate subdivision.
It's phase 1, lot 3 is the first one.
Phase 1, Lot 3.
Motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You're approving the resolution that adopts this action.
All right, number 10, consideration and approval of a resolution of the San Juan County Board of County Commissioners approving the Planning Commissioner's recommendation to approve the amendment to Lot 12 of Turkey Trot Estates Phase 2, permit number 25097, subject to the findings and conditions of approval.
So this one is largely the same. It's the same overall development, but a different phase. This one is just across a little dividing area. It actually is in an area that's highway commercial right now. But when the subdivision was approved and when this particular lot and was residential, going forward, we worked out with the lot owners. They're going to have to, designate whether their plan is to be commercial related or residential related. We've kind of talked through that with them. And so there are a few decisions to be made, but the concept, the dividing of the lot in question has been approved by the planning and zoning. I don't know, Corey, do you feel anything else needs to be said about this one?
You did a very good job on that. One thing, sorry.
Here comes Mr. Mon again. I don't see him on this agenda anywhere.
Hey, you're fired.
I'm not at will, am I?
I think the bigger concept that the commission needs to understand is on these lot splits and these vacation or amendments to the subdivision, they're allowed by statute under certain conditions, and they're allowed by our ordinance under certain conditions. The problem that we really have is you have a subdivision, as Jen said, and it's platted out. You have the road dimensions and the collector roads or what have you, and it's all planned very nicely and adopted, and it goes on. But then somebody comes in and they buy a lot in that subdivision, and that lot may be an acre lot, it may be half an acre lot. And these people, from a financial standpoint, think, well, I want to subdivide my property, do a lot split, and therefore I'll have my house on half an acre, and then I can sell the other half an acre. And so that's what's going around in the public, and that's why, and correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, but that's the reason why we're getting a lot of these lot splits is people in the county trying to make a buck. And they do that by subdividing their property and then selling it. Well, that brings into a lot of different issues. You know, originally when that subdivision was designed, it was designed for 8 lots, and the traffic was, and all that stuff, the size of the septic and things like that. But then you start doubling, if everybody in the subdivision wanted to do a lot split, and it now became, instead of a 10-lot subdivision, it became a 20-lot subdivision. You've increased the capacity of the requirements of septic, of water, of things like that. So it's a juggling thing, and that's what I think the commission, we need to come up with a policy to, you know, probably allow it if it's not solely for financial reasons. Because we don't want everybody in the county all of a sudden thinking they can subdivide their property and sell half of it to get something. So that's an issue that we'll probably have to work through with this and bring it back to you at some time when we get a clear policy.
And I think that was my question to the previous, you know, people hear this, so-and-so had done this, so are we prepared to
Yes.
to address that? Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any more questions?
I
Not
do have a
everyone in the
question
county
on this
attorney's
one.
office is opposed to making a buck.
Yeah. I just have, you are not fired, you're hired again. Anyway,
I'm less than at will. I'm not even at will.
my question is, you know, when people start dividing an area, you have to have, because I was looking at a property that I thought about dividing, but then in order to have utility is only one part. In order to have, you have to have a corridor for the utilities. So
Yeah.
is this property have an easement?
Yeah, so it
We
will.
have to be clear, is that a public easement, the county can use it for utilities? I mean, all this clarified, because I think people buy things and think, oh, I can divide this property and do this, and you start thinking, wait a minute, the meter, everything is way over here, and the house is over here, and this property in the middle, so how we create
So those are all
easement and roads and all this stuff, you know, so.
Those are all requirements that have to be dealt with when we make these decisions. And the typical situation is you have a parcel, you know, a subdivision lot, and then around the perimeter is the public utility easement. So if you divide the lot, your new lot is going to have the same. All of that has to be addressed for sure. Yeah.
So it's just my question. So has this been addressed on
Yes,
this?
on these,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Do we get I need a motion to approve?
Madam Chair, I'll motion to approve, looks like Phase 2, Lot 12 of Turkey Trot Estates.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you all. Well, go look at some more plots and see what you can all come up with. All right, we're going to move into our commission reports, and then as we do have an executive session when we're finished. So would you like to start, Commissioner Harvey?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll try to be brief. First item is the Children's Justice Center. Robert Nyman, CJC Director. I think with Commissioner Stubbs as assistants, we're going to have a Navajo Taco fundraising, Navajo Taco Plate fundraising. We will announce the day and time, and there will be flyers available. The critical points that I like to make in regard to this Navajo Taco fundraiser for the Criminal Justice Center project is that the tacos, the Navajo tacos, will be made by true Navajo Indians with genuine Navajo taco ingredients. Therefore, that's an important note. It's not imitation. It's the genuine, real Navajo taco plate made by real Navajos. The second point is bring your families, and it'll be my what is that word? Chefs use it to make food, not ingredient. My recipe. It'll be my recipe of chili beans, and I'm very generous with the kind of meat I put in my chili beans. So that's the second important point that I wanted to make, is that I like to think that I make some great chili beans. And so just imagine true Navajo tacos made by true natives with Commissioner Harvey's chili bean recipe. It's a big bang for your buck. That will be upcoming. In the interim, Director Nyman and I will be coming out to the local chapter houses. Tomorrow we will be traveling out to Mexican Water Chapter, where we will be presenting, in fact, to not only Mexican Water Chapter, but to Anna Chapter, to Tisnas Bus Chapter, Red Mesa Chapter, educating them about the Children's Justice Center and the purpose behind the Children's Justice Center, and letting the public know what is a Children's Justice Center. I think the idea is to make the community aware of the resource, the valuable resource, and to also extend services to the local partners in our county, which is the Aneth District Courts, the Aneth Navajo Nation Courts, Utah Navajo Health Systems, Federal Bureau of Investigation, because they respond to incidences on Navajo Nation, the Kayenta District Court, and then, of course, our county, San Juan Health, our San Juan Counseling, and really centerpiecing the Children's Justice Center and connecting the community and the programs in our county to the purpose of the Children's Justice Center. So that's my big announcement. I think we're looking at August, maybe within the next few weeks, to have our first fundraising event. We will be having more of a discussion tomorrow or on Thursday. We'll be meeting in Steve Bennett, his Hogan, and I'm not kidding. Steve Bennett, believe it or not, built a Hogan by his facility, and we will be sitting down to talk more about the Children's Justice Center and how we can work externally with other partners to expand that service. And we'll be setting this, the time for the first fundraising event in our county. So that's important. Let's see, that's all I will share, Madam Chair. I'm sure as I'm driving home today, I will hit myself because I'll be like, dang it, I forgot to mention this. But thank you, Madam Chair. That will be my report.
Be sure we know when the date is.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Stubbs.
Okay, just wanted to report on some of the things that have been working lately. Lots of time, the things I do not appear in my calendar, but, I'm sorry. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Like I said, most of the time the things that I do during the day do not appear in my calendar. And so one of the things I have been working this past week have been, I was asked from the Department of Oil, Gas, and Mine from the governor's office to help facilitate an event. They were coming to the county. They're coming and bringing a delegation from Salt Lake to visit both the uranium mine in San Juan and Blanding, and also the copper mine in trying to think the valley they're in anyway. And so we've been securing vans to transport them. They'll arrive in the airport in Blanding in the morning. We'll take them to the Energy Fuel where they're going to do a tour. Then for that, I have made an arrangement with USU, and they're gladly donating a space for us to host that lunch. And also we are hiring. They are also, the cafeteria is providing a catering. They're gonna have Navajo tacos. This is a group that came about 2-3 years ago. I invited them and they came, and I lured them to Navajo tacos. I said, if you come, I'll do some Navajo taco. At that time they have 6 of them. This time they were thinking about 20. They're gonna be coming. And so after that, the lunch, we'll take them to the copper mine and then bring them back to Monticello Airport. The plane is going to be waiting for them, and so they'll go home. I also been working and gathering prices for the event that Commissioner Harbour mentioned about doing a fundraiser. And I think I have 5 really nice gifts, and it takes a while because when you stop for somebody to ask for something, they end up talking or asking questions. And anyway, so have an amazing blanket, Native American blanket, and other amazing things that also are taken to Robert's place. Also, I spent last week trying to find old people that have old editions of the Blue Shadow magazine, and I was able to secured 3 different copies that talk about our minors, interviews and articles on minors, and that had I in my possession for the time is right for us to use it. And I also have a whole collection of pictures that was lended to me under my discretion. We had to, if we decide to use one of the pictures of the collection, me and Rosa, we're gonna create a document where we get permission from the nearest relative of that person, so we have permission to use those pictures. I think one of my favorite things to do this week, it was to attend the little pageant of the little buckaroo. I don't know if it's a little buckaroos and a little other fairground. And it was so cute to see those children performing. There's one little girl that she tried at about 2 or 3 years when I was a judge. And she felt that in a way she didn't do like she wanted to do, but then I chased her to the parking lot and told her to keep trying. And this little girl came to this event being one of the attendants of the royalty of the county. So it's an amazing person, how much she have accomplished. But and I had a little granddaughter. She's not even 3, just little, and it was so cute to see her. And they had to answer questions, and sometimes they can be really funny. And so, just watching those children performing was a nice thing to take a break from more serious things. Another thing I've been trying to accomplish and trying to bring together 2 different groups and hope that it would be a solution for the seniors, the food program for the senior citizens in the Olchero, Monte Valley area. Be traveling to talk to two different entities to see if somehow they can, in cooperation, they're willing to cooperate. We need to figure out how we can make it happen. You know, when you cross the San Juan River, we are in a different nation, and we have to abide by their rules. It's kind of interesting because the Navajo Nation people in our side of the county, they have dual citizenship. They're a citizen of the Navajo Nation, but they're also the citizen of San Juan County. And one of the things I have learned as commissioner from all this time serving that area is that we just basically become an information person. Even though we have made ideas or suggestions, we have to respect their sovereignty. But this is a very critical need for the seniors, and the things that are being offered to them is to have a tent and a couple of party places and serve the people in a tent, and to the people that manage the program, it's not acceptable. They have issues with the heat for being in the hot sun, and so they're trying to figure out different solutions. So hopefully we can come up with something that we can resolve the situation for them, where they can have a comfortable place and move forward to be able to have food. And lots of the people cannot afford protein. Protein costs lots of money. You go to the grocery store and you look at the meat, and just a package of hamburger is $25. So it's lots of money for them to have the protein. So if they have a food program, they can get that very needed protein. I also had the opportunity. I was invited by a new representative from Energy Fuel to come and visit with him, and I went and we had a good chat about some of the needs that they're looking into it, and just kind of more information on what they're planning to do. They just announced that they're gonna increase their building by an enormous amount, where they're gonna have more workers there, more office, more place to really process the earth minerals, rare earth minerals. So it is lots of good news from that area. So the other thing, I spent time in going around trying to place flyers for a program called Souls like the bottom of the shoes, Souls for Souls, SOUL program. And this program brings shoes, donate shoes for school-age children. Part of the money that comes for the one in San Juan County comes from a grant from Energy Fuel. They give to a program that comes from Price. It's under the they have different name organization, but basically it had to do with trying to figure out. Anyway, but they go and buy shoes from closeout companies, and they get lots of participation. People come and line up there next to Clark's Market, and they distribute shoes. And so it's a good place to go and volunteer. And so that program is sponsored by United Way, and it's come from the organization in Price. And so we were very privileged for them to include us. I am part of attending that board, and when I suggested we do a grant from Energy Fuel, and they got the grant, and they brought the program to our area. And so that is a program this well-liked. We're talking about the possibility of getting somebody that can work from home under United Way. They can open up the southern part area for the distribution of shoes. Anyway, so that's something that we need so much from different organizations to be able to establish that. But anyway, that's all. Thank you.
Okay. Real quickly, just to follow up, the county is applying for the outdoor mitigation grant, which is a grant that is an offset if we are awarded it to the impacts of tourism within the county. So I'm just working with the departments, with EMS, Sheriff, Landfill, and Search and Rescue to get that grant under wraps, and hopefully we can work. We have one more letter that we need to get from the tourism board. Hopefully we can submit that and get the funding that we need to offset the costs that we have with that. Just a couple things. I'm just going to give some agenda items. There is the county fair this week, so anybody that is interested, please go. Anna does an amazing job with the fair, and we appreciate her hard work, so go and enjoy the fair this week. A couple things to keep on the agenda is September 11th is our ribbon cutting at Mud Springs, and also the NICA event that will be down in Spanish Valley. That project is coming to a completion, so we look forward to that ribbon cutting. And November 2nd, each county was given grant money by the governor's office to have a nuclear education campaign. And so our county chose to do a documentary. So that will be held at USU on Monday, November 2nd. So we kind of need to start putting that out for people to understand that that event will be happening. And we're hoping that people will attend that. Lastly, I think now that the fire's gone, we just assume we're out of danger, but we are not. There is actually another fire in our county that local firefighters are assisting with the BLM, and we appreciate their efforts. But I think with the fire, I do want to throw out a thank you to our local fire crew. And I know I'm going to forget people, but David Gallegos and the people that work with him, and Tammy for her efforts, and it took a lot of hours, and also for the sheriff's department, specifically Sheriff Lacey, and their efforts with this fire. And the communication was just key with our public, and we appreciate them and what we do. And we're definitely not out of danger. We're still in a very dry area, so just be aware. But thank you to those people and the things that they do to make us safe. And that's all I have. So we actually need to go into an executive session. So I will need a motion to go into closed executive session for the discussion of character, professional competence, physical or mental health of an individual. And then when we come back from this closed session, we will adjourn our meeting. So, and thank you for those who attended.
Madam Chair, I'll make the motion to move into executive session.
Okay, thank you for the motion. And I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Or you and I?
Aye.